Hello, historians. Today I'm going to be reading to you a book called Life in a California Mission, Picture the Past. And this book in our class, we will have some copies of this book for you to read on your own to help you with your mission support. But I'm just going to read the first few pages to you now. About this book. This book tells about daily life in California missions from 1769 to 1823. During these years, the leaders of Spain sent priests to California to set up communities called missions. Spain wanted to create colonies in California to stop other countries from owning land there. The priests had two goals: to build missions for Spain and to teach the Roman Catholic religion and Spanish ways to Native Americans. We have illustrated the book with paintings and drawings from mission times and with artists' ideas of how things looked in the missions. We also include modern photographs of missions. And it tells a little bit about the author, Sally Senzel Isaacs, here. Contents. So this table of contents will be especially helpful for your questions about your mission project. So chapter 1 is Wanted California, First People, and it shows the page numbers here. Spain Moves In, The Royal Road, Beads and Bells, The Mission, Mission Buildings, Priests and Church, Spanish Soldiers, A Day's Work, Growing Food, Meals and Recipes, End of Missions, Missions Today, Glossary, More Books to Read, and an index. I wonder if you had a question about the food aid on missions, what pages could you look at? Scan the table of contents and think about that now. If you said page 26 or 24, you are probably right. Some of you had questions about the soldiers, and you would look on page 20 for that. Others had questions about the mission building, which would be on page 16, and so forth. Wanted California. In the 1500s, Spain owned land all over the world. In North America, Spain owned land in what is now Florida, Georgia, Arizona, Texas, and New Mexico. The country we call Mexico belonged to Spain too. In the 1700s, Spain's leaders wanted to own land in what is now called California. They decided to set up missions there. A mission is a community run by teachers of religion. To quickly get people to live in their communities, Spain planned to have Native Americans move in. So here it says, look for these. The illustration of a mission boy and girl show you the subject of each double page story in the book. The picture of a mission bell marks boxes with interesting facts about mission life. So this is a picture to look for to learn more facts in the book. Timeline. So a timeline is a text feature in nonfiction that will help us understand the timing of when things happened. Timeline of events for California missions. 1769, Father Junipero Serra sets up the first mission called San Diego de Acala. 1771, El Camino Real is cleared to become the main road between missions. 1786, the 10th mission is opened called Santa Barbara Virgen y Marti. Okay. Let's look at this map a little bit. Looks very familiar. Looks like the United States looks like today. In 54 years, Spain set up 21 missions in California. A dirt road called El Camino Real connected the missions. Supplies, soldiers, and missionaries traveled from Mexico by ship and on foot. So we see Mexico. Oh, so this map shows us where all the different missions were set up. 1812, earthquakes strike California. 7 missions are damaged. In 1821, Mexico revolts against Spain and becomes a separate country. So revolt is like to fight back. 1823, the last of the 21 missions is opened called San Francisco Solano. 1833, Mexican leaders take control of missions away from the missionaries. The land is sold to farmers and ranchers. And in 1844, California becomes part of the United States. 1848. First people. For thousands of years, Native Americans lived on the land we now call California. They fished in the ocean and streams. They hunted small animals with bows and arrows. They gathered wild nuts and berries to eat. In most parts of California, Native Americans did not have to clear fields and plant seeds. It was easy to find. The men of this Pomo village are building a home with tall grass. The women are pressing acorns into flour. They will use the flour to make bread. The Native Americans had respect for everything in nature. That was part of their religion. The streams, trees, sky, and animals were all part of the most important God, Great Spirit. The people showed their respect in their songs, their celebrations, and their art. The Native Americans made baskets out of grass. The baskets were strong enough to hold water or acorn soup. Baskets were also used as hats and carriers. Native American groups. About 300,000 Native Americans lived in California. They lived in large groups. Among the groups that lived near California, missions were the Pomo, Miwok, Ohlone, Chumash, Tongva, Serrano, Kitanemuk, Manachi, Selenan, Nisenan, Yokuts, and Esalen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing all of those correctly. Special treats. Acorns. The nuts of oak trees could be found everywhere. Most meals included acorns. For special meals, the people enjoyed eating insects, especially grasshoppers. Spain moves in. Around 1760, Spain wanted to build communities north of Mexico. In California, Spain's leaders wanted Spanish people to move from Mexico into the new California communities. But there were not enough people who wanted to go. So the leaders asked priests to build communities called missions and move Native Americans into the missions. The priests could teach the Native Americans a new way to live, work, and pray. So I'll read these captions. The priest. Father Serra was a missionary priest for the Roman Catholic Church. A missionary is a person who is sent by a church to convince people to choose that church's religion. Roman Catholic missionaries wanted the Native Americans to follow the teachings of the Bible and to believe in one God. The Spanish priests wanted to convert the Native Americans. People who convert give up their own religion and accept another. The Native Americans would become Roman Catholic. In 1769, a priest named Father Junipero Serra rode a mule from Mexico into the area we now call San Diego, California. He brought with him soldiers, priests, and builders. Their job was to build a mission. They hoped that someday the mission would grow into a town called El Pueblo in Spanish, good or bad. The priests thought missions were helpful to Spain and to the Native Americans, but life became worse for some Native Americans. They had to leave home, give up their beliefs, speak a new language, and work without pay. Father Serra and his helpers arrived near present-day San Diego, California in July 1769. They climbed to the top of a hill and planted a large wooden cross. They would build the mission on this land. The Royal Road. By 1772, Spanish missionaries had started 5 missions. In 1781, there were 13 missions. By 1823, 21 missions stretched along California's west coast. A single road connected the missions. It was called El Camino Real, which means the Loyal Road. A traveler could walk from one mission to the next one in one day. Missionaries, soldiers, and other people used El Camino Real to take supplies to the new missions. They also took food grown on the missions to the missions to the soldiers living in nearby forts or presidios. El Camino Real started as a foot trail through the grass and trees. As missions grew, small towns called pueblos also grew nearby. The narrow trail became a wider road. By the time California became part of the United States in 1848, stagecoaches were rumbling along the road. Today, US Highway 101 closely follows El Camino Real. El Camino Real stretched 530 miles, 853 kilometers, through California from San Diego to Sonoma, just north of San Francisco. It was part of a Spanish trail leading from Mission San Antonio in Texas to California. This is a sign for El Camino Real. Kings Highway, Camino Real, Old San Antonio Road, marked by the Daughters of the American Revolution and the states of Texas. Right, so that's all we're going to read for today for part 1, and we may read some more chapters as well as getting a chance to read on your own. I wonder so far what you have learned about what is a mission, why did the mission start, and what was life like for natives before the mission. You can rewind this video and listen to any of the chapters again to help you with your writing, and also if you missed anything or want to learn more.